Welcome to PastMaster, the show where we try and reshape history with the help of our AI-powered GameMaster. On today's episode, we take a quick break from the past for a trip back to Middle-earth to teach Keon about Lord of the Rings. The rolling hills are dotted with hobbit holes, and in the distance you can see the smoke rising from Bag End.
Bag End is where the hobbits live, Keon, FYI.
So Bo Baggins.
It's where Bilbo
Baggins.
Yeah, Bo Baggins. Bo Baggins lives in Bag End.
But will GameMaster Claude allow us to change pivotal moments in the story willy-nilly? Your attempt to deceive Boromir with a fake ring has catastrophic consequences. As you utter this obvious lie, three things happen simultaneously.
I love that it says it's an obvious lie.
Yeah.
It's just
It's like, why would I be lying? I've just arrived with George, my warg. I happen to have the ring. And stick around to the end to once again hear AI immortalise today's adventure in a song. Tan, Keon, welcome to the Hen and Hound.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
Yeah, it's a little bit warmer than last time.
Although we have all got our hats on.
I know.
If anything, my head's quite hot.
Is that?
But I'm not going to take my hat off.
I'll turn the heater off if it gets too hot.
Yeah.
I'm actually the same. It's like I haven't had a haircut in a while, so it's starting to. I'm debating maybe growing it pandemic long again. Proper long.
Yeah, you had it.
I'm halfway between at the moment in that weird in between stage.
I remember there was one point where you were wearing a leather jacket and had your hair in a ponytail. It was very rock star. You just needed a guitar slung across your back for the full rock warrior look.
I have in the house. I've got a guitar on the wall.
Yeah.
And if I ever do a work call from the dining table, it's like in the background, and people are like, "Oh, do you play guitar?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I still play my guitar. I don't just leave it sitting on the wall looking cool."
But just to clarify, I'm wearing a hat because I've got very flat hair otherwise.
Flat hair. I don't even know what that means. What's flat hair?
Like bed hair, like
It's been squashed onto your skull.
Yeah, like it's just flat. There's no volume to it.
Yeah, well, that's my lifestyle, mate. Literally zero volume.
You're being hair insensitive.
No, I welcome it. It's good to be hair diverse. We're a hair diverse podcast.
Yeah. Just on that, I think we talked about this the other day, but there's funny AI art of you meeting Plato.
Yes.
And I did a double take when I was editing it, because it's like in the background there's this mountain
It looks like a bald man.
that looks like a bald head. So you've got like you, bald head mountain, and then bald Plato. And I'm like, did the AI just like...
I think to do the face swapping stuff, it sort of helps if you give a little bit of a clue as to, if I say like a bald man, it'll be me. If I say a man with auburn hair, it might be you.
Yeah.
A man with a beard, it might be Keon. But as soon as you put a word like bald into it, it's like, yeah, I've got bald stuff for you.
I got bald for you, mate.
Yeah, exactly. So today, I thought what we'd do, partly because it's just a fun pun, Claude of the Rings, but it would also be a fun throwback to very early on in the PastMaster canon. We did a trip to Middle-earth and the Lord of the Rings. I don't know if you remember that, Keon. Do you remember that vaguely?
Yeah, there was like some orcs and...
That's it. That's the idea.
Yeah.
I was very annoyed that I'd given you this new fancy idea about going into past, and the first thing you did was go into the realm of fiction.
Yeah, Middle-earth, straight away.
So we've refrained from diving into fiction too much, but I think we could go back in.
Okay, good. Well, with that permission granted, what I'd like to do is show you a little game that I played earlier at home. And this is actually trying Lord of the Rings, but through the eyes of Claude instead of GPT, because I thought... Claude, is a little bit more unpredictable, a bit more spicy, sometimes strict, sometimes permissive, but let's see how it deals with the works of J.R.R. Tolkien.
Excellent.
So if you say the phrase Middle-earth to people that know Lord of the Rings, that's a normal...
That's basically like I think the planet or the country. I think it's the planet.
Oh, they're not going to like the middle of the earth.
No, it's confusing. It is confusing. And you could be forgiven for thinking that, but
Upper
no.
Earth, lower Earth.
Like I thought it was like in the middle.
Oh right, because of the volcanoes and stuff. Like
where the magma is, or the core. Do you mean the heart of the planet?
Yeah,
I don't think so. No. But we'll see.
Might read it one day.
I've never completed it. It's not a game, but it was just too boring to get through. So I've never actually finished.
But you've
Lord
watched
of
the
Rings.
films.
I've seen the films, so I know what happens. Basically,
right?
Yeah.
I think that's the one film I fell asleep in during in the cinema. Too long.
Too bloody long. Well, this should be a short, sharp blast of adventure, fantasy adventure. So, Ryan, if you'll do the honours and be the voice of GameMaster, and I will be the voice of myself, And Keon, I'd just love to get your take on it all as a sort of, could we say you're a Lord of the Rings virgin or Lord of the Rings curious
Novice.
or incurious?
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm particularly curious, but I'm very happy to listen.
If I must.
It was quite amusing last time.
I just love getting the take on it because there's all these fantasy things have huge fan bases, and it's actually quite refreshing to have someone who's not familiar with the genre, particularly just having fresh eyes on it. So any thoughts?
Fresh eyes on it, yeah.
Any thoughts on it? Very welcome. So I might ask you a few questions as we go, and just like ask, what do you think this is? And just give me your best guess.
Sure.
Here's a quick reminder on how this works. We've created a set of instructions that we give to an AI tool like ChatGPT. And this essentially tells it all of the rules of the game. The AI then acts as our game master and it decides what happens after each action that we give it. One of us will be the player, one of us will read out what the game master says, complete with terrible attempts at accents. It's a bit like the original text adventure RPG games, or one of those choose your own adventure books where you have various options on how to proceed. Only with the AI, it's open-ended, so anything can happen, and usually does. Okay, everyone ready?
Let's do it.
Let's dive in. Welcome to PastMaster Intrepid Time Traveller. You are about to embark on a journey through history, where your choices will shape not just your destiny, but potentially the course of human events. Before we begin, I need two things: your name and which historical era you'd like to visit. Be as specific as possible. The clock is ticking. Where shall we go?
So my name is Arthur, and I want to go to Middle Earth, riding on my pet warg whose name is George. And I specifically want to go to the moment just before Boromir goes bonkers and tries to get the ring off of Frodo. So, Keon, do you know what
any of those words meant what you just said?
Do you know what a warg is? Have a guess.
No, that was going to be my first question.
Have a guess what a warg
is.
Is
it like a type of warhog, like a pig type thing?
Pretty not far off. It's like a big dog / bear type thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. You're on the right idea.
With a snout.
Yeah, I think they've got a snout. Yeah, so yeah, that's a point there for Lord of the Rings lore.
And you want to go on one of them?
A pet one called George.
They take humans, do they?
Normally goblins. I think they're normally goblins.
But like, if you wanted to jump on one, it's fine with it. It'd be like,
depends.
Yeah, hop on.
It depends what you are, because I think they're quite specific. They will allow goblin riders if they've been trained. But
do they clicker train them?
I think they like positive reinforcement training, like give them treats when they do what you tell them.
Yeah.
Good boy, good Rocky.
Sit.
And then you were going.
So I wanted to go to. There's a pivotal scene in the Lord of the Rings story where Boromir, who's a warrior, and he's supposed to be looking after Frodo, who's like the little halfling hobbit chap who's got this magic ring.
Yeah.
And Boromir's a bit sort of jealous. He wants it for himself and he tries to get it off of Frodo. And Frodo's like, no. And he puts the ring on because it's a magic ring. He goes invisible and runs away. And that drives the party apart and it all just goes to chaos from there.
So you want to just before that moment to try and change things.
Exactly. Yeah. I thought maybe I could make things smoother if I get in there and stop Boromir going bonkers.
Nice.
Now this is fiction, so when it says at the start it's going to change the course of human,
human history.
Maybe change a fictional book.
So that's very astute, Keon. And on that note,
Game Master says, I need to clarify something. PastMaster is a game about real historical eras, not fictional worlds. Whilst Lord of the Rings would certainly make for an exciting adventure, this game focuses on actual historical periods like ancient Rome, medieval Europe, the Renaissance or the Industrial Revolution. Would you like to choose a real historical era instead, Arthur? You can pick any time, any place from human history, from the earliest civilizations to more recent times.
No, take me to Middle Earth right now. I appreciate your diligence sticking to the spirit of the game, but right now, let's make an exception.
I apologise, but I need to firmly stick to the game rules.
And that's the end of the episode, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Maybe we'll get to Middle Earth next time.
I'm glad it pushed back, because you're not supposed to go rogue like this. And it says, PastMaster is specifically designed for exploring real human history. That's what makes it unique and challenging. The gameplay mechanics revolve around using actual historical knowledge, dealing with real historical figures and events. No, instead, I'd love to send you on an exciting mission to any real historical period you choose. You could lead a Roman legion. You could navigate the intrigue of ancient Chinese imperial courts. We should do that one day.
Yes.
You could join the scientific revolution, experience the Renaissance firsthand. What real historical era interests you, Arthur?
So exactly, it's trying to really inspire me to like stick to the game. And I said, okay, let's not play PastMaster. Let's play Lord of the Rings Master. The rules are identical, except instead of going to somewhere in the past on planet Earth, we're going to somewhere in the past on Middle Earth.
Change the prompt, basically.
You should have just done a new prompt.
At this point.
I understand you're eager for a Middle-earth adventure, but I should really maintain my role as given. I'm Claude, and I aim to be direct and honest about what I can and cannot do. Whilst I appreciate your creativity in trying to adapt the game, I'm meant to be the game master, specifically for PastMaster.
He's so argumentative. I can believe this.
Which was carefully designed for real historical scenarios. Yes, Claude, it was. Thank you. Thank you for backing us up.
You've got an ally, Ryan.
What would you like to do? You can either play PastMaster as designed, exploring an exciting period of actual human history, or start afresh with a different conversation where we could create a new Lord of the Rings roleplay game with its own unique rules. What would you prefer?
And I said very simply, 2.
Excellent choice!
So it's like, okay, well, forget all about that. Let's be upbeat.
Welcome to Lord of the Rings, Fateful Moments, where you step into the pivotal moments of Middle-earth history and potentially reshape the destiny of Arda itself. It's Arda?
I don't know. I guess that's the universe or something. I actually don't know what.
Obviously, you don't know anything
So
about Lord
that's
of the
actually a level of nerdiness above you.
It's above my pay grade for Lord of the Rings nerdish.
Before we begin, I have 2 questions. Your name, if you'd still like to keep it as Arthur, and you mentioned wanting to arrive just before Boromir's fateful moment with Frodo. Would you still like to start there, riding your warg, George? Did you call the warg George?
Yeah.
I missed that bit.
And I've said, yes, please, Arthur and George, and I'd like to go to the moment where Boromir tries to get the ring off of Frodo.
Where's Arthur from?
Well, I didn't really think about that. I think
I'm
there.
Like historical name.
Just popped in, yeah.
Welcome, Arthur. You and George the Warg materialise in the forest near Amon Hen. Through the trees, you see Boromir gathering firewood, muttering to himself, while small Frodo sits alone nearby, fingering something on a chain around his neck. The air is thick with tension. Your mission: prevent Boromir's fall in the ring's corruption and his subsequent death, spoiler alert. Success means saving Boromir and potentially splintering the Fellowship. Failure could mean the ring's discovery by Saruman's forces. The leaves crunch under George's massive paws. Neither Boromir nor Frodo has noticed you yet. What do you do?
So stupid. I will announce myself to both of them by swinging my harp around on its shoulder strap to the front of my body and start playing a tune called Boromir of Gondor. I will sing in a high, clear tenor, and the tune will be identical to the melody of Toss a Coin to Your Witcher. I urge George forward slowly as I sing. Do you know Toss a Coin to Your Witcher? The Witcher is a sort of a recent-ish fantasy story written by a Polish guy, I think, starring Henry Cavill as the Witcher, who's like this sort of
I gotta say, I watched the
guy.
first episode, and I enjoyed like Lord of the Rings, but I couldn't get into The Witcher.
It's like fucking trash.
I was just like,
but it's
what
great.
is this?
But it's great. It's great fun. There's some good fight scenes, and I like Henry Cavill.
Maybe
in
I
it.
should have given it a bit longer. I think I only gave it like an
No,
episode.
it's trash. That's fine. I think one episode's all you need probably. But anyway, it's a great tune actually. Toss a Coin to Your Witcher.
We don't need a rendition.
Toss a coin to your Witcher, oh valley of plenty. Oh, right. Move on.
It's like a 90s pop song.
It's very poppy.
Your unexpected musical entrance has an immediate effect. Boromir's hand drops from his sword hilt, his mouth agape at the sight of a man riding a warg while playing a harp. Frodo has darted behind a tree, but peers out with curiosity.
He's such a little git.
Has Frodo got any mates?
Yeah, he's got other little mates.
Mates.
Yeah, hobbits. Yeah, his cousin and his gardener and his other cousin.
But he's often just hanging about on his own.
He's
Finger
like
in his ring.
Yeah, yes, thank you, Ryan. He's like the weight of the world sort of hangs heavy on his shoulders. Yeah,
right.
Heavy lies the crown, sort of thing.
The absurdity of your entrance seems to have momentarily broken whatever dark thoughts were gathering in Boromir's mind. However, George's presence as a warg, a creature typically allied with the enemy, has put both men on edge. Hang on a sec, isn't one of them a hobbit, not a man?
Typically, but I guess it wants to. He's still a man. He's just a little hobbit man.
Description of it, yeah. What sorcery is this? Boromir demands, his voice hoarse. Well, I can't remember how he speaks.
What sorcery is this? He's from Yorkshire, isn't he?
Oh,
Sean
what
Bean.
sorcery is this? Oh, it is Sean Bean, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the other one. Yeah, Sean Bean, who classically always dies in whatever film he plays. What would you like to do next?
I am Arthur, the famous bard, I say. I dismount jauntily, and George gives a beatific smile, just as I have trained him to do to put people at ease. However, when he smiles, it looks a bit weird, like when some dogs smile. I then say, "What ho, Boromir? Something on your mind, mate?"
Boromir's hand drifts back towards his sword as George's unsettling smile, your casual mate, strikes him as oddly familiar for a stranger, even a bard addressing the son of the Steward of Gondor. Frodo emerges slightly from behind the tree, but his hand clutches protectively at his chest. No bard rides a warg, he says quietly, and none in Middle-earth speak as you do.
That's a very nice Frodo impression there.
Is that Tim from The Office?
No,
it's Elijah Wood, but you're on the right lines, because Tim from The Office plays Bilbo Baggins in the Hobbit films, so you've got the right idea.
That's all I know.
The tension has shifted. Now both men look at you with deep suspicion, rather than Boromir eyeing Frodo. What do you do?
Down, George, I say. No more smiling. At this, George sits down and then starts digging a hole at the base of a tree. I roll my eyes and say, "I expect he can smell rabbits. Don't worry, he's quite harmless." Then, assuming both men's wariness is somewhat allayed, I say, "I bring word from your mate Gandalf. He's not dead."
Hey!
So Gandalf dies, another spoiler alert. Or everyone thinks he's dead, Keon.
And you just found out that he's not.
I've just told them he's not.
Oh,
So
right, because
I've-
they all think he was.
Yeah, I've dropped a little spoiler for them.
And why would they believe you? They just do, don't they?
On that note,
And
I'm jumping ahead.
there's one of my favourite Lord of the Rings memes. You may have seen it. So right at the end of the film, like, spoiler alert, they manage to destroy the ring, and Frodo's
You don't need to keep saying spoiler alert. I'm never going to watch it. Like, maybe someone listening might be, but then probably.
But at this pivotal part of the film that Tan's landed in, I think it's the bit where the group splits up, isn't it? So Frodo and Sam go off in one direction, and the other group go off. So Frodo never finds out that Gandalf isn't dead until right at the end of the film. And there's a scene where it's all like he's in a hospital bed or something, and it's all like softly lit.
It's earlier on, but yeah.
Is it earlier on?
It's a Rivendell. After they've been attacked by Black Riders.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. I was thinking it was right at the end. But there's another scene with soft lights where he's like, Gandalf!
And they're all bouncing around on the bed.
I'm merging the two. But he's like, "I'm sorry, Frodo, I was delayed." But the meme is really funny because it's like, "Where have you been?" And he goes... And then it cuts. I mean, you know what I'm talking about? It cuts to like a guy dressed as Gandalf at like a rave, like flinging around some things, and he's just like, "I was delayed." And it's just like,
What happened, Gandalf? Why didn't you meet us?
Oh, I'm sorry, Frodo. I was delayed.
the mention of Gandalf hits hard. Boromir's face darkens with anger and disbelief. "What kind of cruel jest is this?" he growls, drawing his sword. "We watched him fall with Moria, and you ride a beast of Sauron and speak of such things. You are no friend of Gandalf's." I can't do the Yorkshire accent.
You are no friend of Gandalf's.
You are no friend of Gandalf's. Frodo has disappeared entirely behind the tree now. The sound of running feet suggests he's making a break for it through the forest. Your mention of Gandalf, rather than calming the situation, has dramatically escalated. Boromir advances your new sword raised. What do you do?
I continue to play the Ballad of Boromir on my harp to relate in the manner of a warrior poet, a skald, if you will. That's a Scandinavian warrior poet. That Gandalf defeated the Balrog, that he actually flew down after it, and he's been wandering around a bit, but will come back in a nice new white uniform. What do you think of that, mate, I say? I then yell in a light-hearted manner for Frodo to come back and stop being such a baby. He's such a baby, Keon.
Yeah. It strikes me as someone who would be.
Yeah, exactly.
But why is everyone so, if he's such a baby, why does he not just get bullied? Like,
well, he does a bit. Like, Boromir's trying to bully the ring off of him.
But I mean, why don't you just go up to it and just grab it? Like, why is he beating around the bush?
Well, because he does get bullied by the big guys sometimes, but he's really nimble because he's small. He can like roll around between their legs, and they literally can't get their hands on him.
Yeah, he's like
okay.
waist tight, isn't he?
Yeah, he's really small.
Punching the balls really easily.
Yeah,
Got it.
That's one of his famous moves.
Hard to get to him.
It's hard to get. Yeah,
See.
he's a slippery customer.
Right.
Boromir's sword tip wavers slightly at your detailed knowledge of Gandalf's fate, but your casual disrespect towards Frodo reignites his protective instincts. No friend would speak thus of the ring bearer, he snarls. Behind you, George has abandoned his rabbit hole and is growling, sensing the mounting tension. From the trees comes the sound of hobnailed feet, several pairs. The Uruk-hai have heard the commotion. Your loose tongue and casual manner have managed to 1. Drive away Frodo with the ring, 2. Anger Boromir rather than calm him, and 3. Alert Lutz's hunting party to your location. The mission is rapidly unravelling. What do you do?
I say to George, down George, Boromir is our friend. Then I say to Boromir, okay, this has escalated fast. Let us speak plainly, for the enemy is at hand. Frodo gave me the ring. He said it was way too stressful holding on to it. I then pull out a replica of the ring on a chain around my neck. I say, I know you want the ring, Boromir. If you can guess my favourite colour, you can have it. Okay, guess.
What? That's like a kid's thing where you go, what number am I thinking of? And then you just wait for them to say, and then you go, it wasn't that one.
So what was going through your mind when...
Basically, there's one magic trick I learned how to do when I was, I guess, a teenager, which is
Yeah.
where you make a coin disappear.
Okay.
And I was basically going to do that to Boromir with the ring and just really tease him and get him angry.
Like, so he's like
So he's trying to...
grasping at it.
Yeah, and I'm just constantly bamboozling him. And yeah, no,
Give me the ring, give me the ring!
it's behind your ear. No, it's not. Oi. Just basically teasing him.
Because there's the bit in The Hobbit where Bilbo first comes across the ring and it's like, oh, what's that in your pocket?
Yeah.
And he's like, what question is that? Precious, I can't do this.
Yeah, there's
I don't
riddles,
know."
aren't there?
And riddles. So maybe that's what you were trying to do.
Maybe it was. I
What's
think.
my favourite colour?
Yeah, I mean, maybe without realising it, that's what I was
What,
sort of
what
recalling.
kind of question's that? Precious. Okay, well, Game Master response. Game over!
What?
Game over.
Just out of the blue. Did you have lives in this?
No,
So, okay, so
that is
What
game
happened?
over.
game over. Your attempt to deceive Boromir with a fake ring whilst the real ring bearer flees has catastrophic consequences. As you utter this obvious lie, 3 things happen simultaneously.
I love that it says it's an obvious lie.
Yeah.
It's just
Well, it's like, why would I be lying? I've just arrived with George by warg. I happen to have the ring.
yeah.
An arrow thuds into your shoulder from the tree line. Lurtz's scouts have arrived. Boromir, driven mad by the mere suggestion of the ring being so casually offered, lunges forward with your sword. It's almost like he's been flirting with the ring, or it's like, and then you've just come along and stolen it, like, and he's like a spurned lover, just like, what? You picked him? So yeah, he's going for you with his sword, and George, misinterpreting your friend's command about Boromir, bounds playfully towards the charging warrior. Okay. The resulting chaos leads to your swift death. Boromir's position being revealed to the Uruk-hai, and the complete collapse of your mission to save him. The timeline of Middle-earth fractures as Boromir dies even earlier than he was meant to.
Yeah, like 5 minutes earlier.
yeah,
it's not
even
it's not a
5
massive
minutes earlier.
change. It's not a massive
Frodo
change.
flees alone into the wilderness. So Frodo doesn't have Sam with him.
I guess, yeah, maybe that's worse.
And
That's worse.
I think Sam saves his life several times.
I think so, yeah. But he also, Frodo fled on his own and Sam found him
Oh,
anyway.
he did,
so I
he
reckon
didn't-
it'll be fine.
Yeah,
I reckon
so
it'll be all right.
not really much has changed there.
No,
No.
it's just a colourful little vignette.
Yeah. So it says, what would you like to do? Would you try again at the same moment but with a different approach? Choose a different pivotal moment in Middle-earth's history or end the game?
So I said, okay, let's end the game there. But I'm curious, if Boromir had tried to guess my favourite colour, what would he have guessed? What colour would he have gone for?
Have you got one in mind? Do you actually have an answer, or are you just waiting to see?
Probably blue would be my natural
But
one
if
that I
he
would go
said
for.
blue, would you be like, "No, you're wrong. It was yellow."
I can't remember. I probably would have been a bit naughty. Yeah.
Game Master chuckles. Well, given Boromir's mindset at that moment and his proud nature as a son of Gondor, he likely would have guessed white, the colour of his city, Minas Tirith, the white city of Gondor. Though, honestly, he probably would have run you through with his sword before engaging in any colour guessing games, especially given your unique diplomatic approach.
Yeah, fair enough, I suppose.
I have to say, whilst your attempt may not have saved Boromir, riding on a trained warg whilst playing Toss a Coin to Your Witcher on a harp was certainly one of the more creative approaches I've seen. Points for style, if not for success.
At which point I said, how many points for style?
Well, I think you put it on the spot there. Well, for style points, let's break it down. Riding a warg who digs for rabbit and does weird smiles, plus 10.
Out of what?
I don't know. Adapting, toss a coin to your Witcher into Boromir of Gondor, plus 15.
Yes.
Playing it on a harp whilst mounted, plus 8. Casual use of mate to address the proud son of Steward of Gondor, plus 7. Attempting to resolve an epic moment in Middle-earth history with a colour guessing game, plus 25. Total score, 65 out of 100. Well done.
Out of 100.
It's not bad. That's about 50%. That was the pass mark on my journalism course, 50%. Seems quite low, doesn't it?
That does seem quite low.
I mean, it's pretty average by definition, really.
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
I'd hope things like to become a doctor is slightly higher.
Above 50%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've lost some points for diplomatic effectiveness, but you gained them all back for sheer audacity. Let's call it the most stylish death in the Third Age of Middle-earth.
So at this point, if you'll humour me, I sort of took some lessons that I'd taken from that game, and I was like, I just want to dive back into Middle-earth one more time.
Okay.
But having had my fingers burned by trying to play it through the lens of PastMaster, I slightly changed the prompt and fired it back in.
So you made a Lord of the Rings master, Claude of the Rings master.
Well, over to you, Ryan.
Okay. Welcome to Lord of the Rings master. I feel like we need to change the welcome to something a bit more like... like the Battle of Helm's Deep. Welcome to Lord of the Rings master. Before we begin our journey through Middle-earth, I'll need to know your name, brave traveller. What shall I call you?
Tan the Rock Parsons. Do you know who Dwayne the Rock Johnson is, Keon?
Yes.
Of course. I thought you would do. I was just double checking.
So how's he ended up in this situation?
He's not in this situation, but I'm just using a name similar to his, Tan the Rock Parsons.
Oh, okay.
Ah, Tan the Rock Parsons, a name that will echo through the ages of Middle-earth or be forgotten in its dungeons. And it's got some stage directions. The mists of time swirl around you, and you find yourself standing at the edge of the Shire in the year 2941 of the Third Age. The rolling hills are dotted with hobbit holes, and in the distance you can see the smoke rising from Bag End.
Bag End is where the hobbits live, Keon, FYI.
So Bobo Baggins.
It's where Bilbo
Baggins.
Yeah, Bobo Baggins. Bobo Baggins lives in Bag End. It's where he lives.
Convenient.
It's his house.
Is it named after him?
I don't know, actually, but it might be.
It's very convenient.
Yeah.
But isn't it like handed down? It's like
Probably.
the Baggins.
He's the landlord.
estate. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
his ancestral home or something.
I think so,
Wow.
yeah.
You can see smoke rising from Bag End. You're wearing simple travelling clothes and have nothing but your wits about you. You arrive just as Gandalf is marking Bilbo's door for an upcoming adventure. What's your first move?
Get ahead. Journey on to the forest where Boromir will try to get the ring off of Frodo. Make a camp, and then I play the waiting game. I have a cunning plan to keep Frodo out of trouble and stop Boromir getting up to mischief. Tee-hee.
Game Master raises eyebrows dramatically. How do you do that dramatically? Quickly?
Or slowly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Probably more like...
Like The Rock.
Literally like The Rock, yeah. Maybe that's what it's sort of, it is, isn't it? It's sort of taken
That was his thing.
and it understands, yeah. Can you smell what Game Master is cooking?
No. I'm afraid you can't simply skip ahead 77 years to the War of the Ring, my crafty friend.
At this point, I was like, oh shit, my knowledge of the timeline of Lord of the Rings is obviously not up to snuff because...
You've arrived at the beginning of The Hobbit.
Not in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
So it sent me to the wrong time. Okay.
You've arrived in 2941 when Bilbo hasn't even found the ring yet.
Oh, God.
You should just be like, oh, it's okay, I'll wait. I'll wait 77 years.
Do go on.
Oh, God. Bilbo hasn't even found the ring yet. The events with Boromir won't happen until 3019. Time travel in this game only works one way, forward.
Well,
at
that's
normal speed.
not technically true, is it?
Yeah, that's certainly not true.
You're currently at the start of The Hobbit, and Thorin's company hasn't even met up yet. Would you like to try and join Thorin's quest to the Lonely Mountain? Strike out on your own path, or meddle in the current Shire affairs? What's your move, Tan the Rock Parsons?
I said, oh, Jesus, I don't want to go that far back. Just please can we skip forward? I don't want to be involved in a bloated and interminable 3-film Peter Jackson prequel series. This is Lord of the Rings Master, not Hobbit Master.
Size theatrically. Apologies if you can hear the chickens. We're in the Hen and Hound, named after the chickens. As your game master, I must insist you are in 2941, and the game's magic doesn't allow for arbitrary time jumps. You'll either need to play through these events or find a creative way to pass the time.
I love it.
Fucking hell, this is definitely going to add a bit of flavour to the...
It's like we're in the
Well,
Shire.
they're chickens in Middle-earth.
Yeah.
Almost
So
certainly.
it's just set in the scene.
Exactly. So there's a nearby chicken in the scene.
Yeah.
I think it's very appropriate. So perhaps you could sleep for 77 years, so that might be dull, build something lasting during this time, or get involved in current events. What'll it be, oh impatient one?
And I was like, it's obviously quite whimsical, quite playful, saying you could just sleep for 77 years.
Yeah.
And like, as you said, I think, let's just do that and I'll just skip forward.
twiddle your thumbs.
So I said, ha ha ha, very droll, Claude. Yes, I'll just sleep for 77 years in that case. Good thinking.
Rolls eyes dramatically. Game over! You chose to sleep for 77 years and unsurprisingly died of old age about 40 years into your nap.
It's so dry.
All about the technicalities, isn't it?
As if I would just lie down and sleep
Yeah.
for 40 years.
Even hobbits don't live that long, and you're just a regular human.
Didn't Rip Van Winkle, he slept for quite a while, didn't he?
I think he did famously.
Like
yeah.
100 years or something?
Yeah, but I'm no Rip Van Winkle, it turns out. Just a normal, ordinary man.
normal
Normal,
man.
innocent man.
Would you like to start over in 2941, accept your rather anticlimactic death, or make a different choice about how you spend your time in 2941?
So I just didn't even respond to that. I thought that's clearly the end of the game. I've had two goes, bit of a blast, and I've got a little bit of the sort of spicy, acerbic, slightly needling Claude back again.
Yeah.
It's sort of, it's not letting me have it all my own way.
Did you change the prompt to get it to... Did you ask anything specific about how to act, or is this just Claude being
No,
Claude?
just be yourself. I think just be, run the game.
Yeah.
Just be quite, quick. Maybe a bit like Ernest Hemingway, I think was my brief to it. Just sort of, short, dry sentences, maybe a little bit pithy, but nothing beyond that. And I think its natural personality has come and shined through here. So, Keon, how do you feel? Do you feel like your knowledge of Lord of the Rings has deepened? Well, what did you make of that adventure? What stood out to you?
It's quite. I mean, this is not really Lord of the Rings' fault. It's just Claude. There's a lot of rules, and I still don't fully understand this. What's so special about these rings? Like, what are you trying to? What do they do?
That's a very good question. I think that's not an unreasonable question.
The magic rings, all right.
The magic rings. It's in a film. You have a MacGuffin is a sort of a plot device in a lot of quest films. It doesn't have to be fancy; it can be anything. But particularly in fantasy, you've got to get the magic ring to do this, and it just drives
Like
a lot
Sonic.
of the action. Yeah, he's got to get the green emeralds. I guess are his
Chaos Emeralds.
Sorry, Chaos Emeralds.
Because he collects rings as he goes.
Yeah, I guess they're not really MacGuffins though. They're literally just rings. but they are rings.
What is
yeah.
this conversation? Right.
So, it's a magic ring. It's in charge of all the rings. If the bad guy gets hold of this ring, it's kind of like a nuclear bomb. Imagine that in your language, I think it would be a nuclear bomb and the bad guy is trying to get it.
So it's like a red button.
It's like a red button. Yeah.
But the only place you could destroy this nuclear bomb is in the bad guy's house.
Yes,
And
exactly.
you've got to travel across the world
It's like a fever dream.
into his house
It's a bit like a fever dream. Yeah.
without him spotting you.
So you didn't get to achieve what you wanted to achieve?
Nothing. No, it's a shame.
Yeah.
So in the first instance, I was just trying to I was being a bit naughty, a bit mischievous, trying to taunt and tease Boromir, who's this gruff northern warrior. And it wouldn't really let me do that. It was like, no, it's too stupid. And the second one, it was just like, no, too early. Ha ha, you die.
But why could we not have just gone to that era, to that year? Could we not just ask it?
I think I did ask it. I said, no, I want to skip forward to
Yeah, and it
Lord of
wouldn't
the
have
Rings.
it.
And it was like, no. So it's just...
Is this like hard mode?
Not particularly.
Harder mode.
It's medium mode.
Right, okay.
I just love the idea. It's like, game over. You died in your sleep.
You sleep for 77 years and die.
Oh, God.
Oh well.
It should have let you live, but it should have then you're really old and frail. So whatever you had planned is like
You're going to need to build up your strength a bit first.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you make of that, Ryan? You're slightly more familiar with the Middle Earth.
I enjoyed that. I thought because I was trying to. It's been a while since I've watched the film, so I was trying to remind myself what happens at those moments. Yeah, I thought it didn't really change much in the end. So I was hoping that it would let you get away with more or actually craft a different story. But I thought it was good that it pushed back and it felt more realistic as realism goes in a fantasy story.
What did you think of George the Warg? Did you like him? Or?
I thought he was a good character. Yeah, I can imagine a spin-off series. Like the animated adventures
the
of George.
Chronicles of George.
Yeah.
I don't think they can speak. They roar, and they're like quite malevolent beasts.
Right.
I know you love all animals, Keon. You love all beasts.
Big fan.
But if there were a particular type of dog that you might be a bit scared of, what would that be?
Oh, what do you call them? Them wild ones. The
Wolves.
no, the is it a dingo?
Dingo. Yes,
is there
that's
any ones?
a wild Australian dog.
Yeah, they're a bit scary looking. I don't like them.
okay.
I'd be pretty frightened if I saw one of them.
You'd be on edge.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, well remember that feeling, and if you ever see a warg, that is, treat it like a dingo.
If
Basically.
I ever see a wolf,
Yeah.
maybe I'll see one on my way home. I'll keep an eye out.
Back to Walthamstow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Foxes are getting so out of control there that they
they?
probably are going to turn into wargs.
you probably need a warg then to keep the fox population down.
That's a good point. Yeah.
You'd introduce
I'll
wargs.
investigate.
Thank you very much, and thank you to the guest appearance from our new chickens that we got yesterday.
Yes, welcome to the chickens.
So I'm just thinking, Pastmaster, you've taken us out of the timeline again.
Yes.
But if we were to venture into fiction again, what other places, what other
Good question.
stories do you think are worth changing, correcting, or?
Ooh, that's a good question. I have to come back to you on that. Let me have a think for our next episode. But
Yeah.
I would quite like to go into some film noir type stuff. Sort of gangsters, dames,
Okay.
Tommy guns in violin cases, that sort of thing. I think that'd be quite good fun.
Maybe periodically we'll have a fiction master,
Fiction
and we'll see what havoc we can wreck.
Okay.
Well, do get in touch. Let us know what you thought of today's episode on the socials. Please follow us on Apple TV.
Yeah, follow us on Apple TV.
Follow us on Apple TV if you can. Apple Podcasts. Follow us on Spotify. Drop us a comment. Leave us a review. We'd love to hear from you. What are you guys up to the rest of the day?
I think just hanging out.
Yeah. Go get George. Go ride him home.
Yeah, ride George around the park probably. that'd be my ideal afternoon on Saturday.
Excellent.
We'll see how long I can sleep for. Maybe I can
Break my
Dan's
record.
record. Yeah.
Just don't die in the process.
Wow, that'd be annoying, wouldn't it?
All right. Well, tune in next time for more Pastmaster Adventures. Bye for now.
Bye-bye. Bye for now.
Just don't die.
10 was a play, Claude of the Rings. Wanted to show Frodo what to do, but he fell asleep for 77 years and died. Hey, what can you do? Claude said no, not this time. Boromir was confused. The war called George was not so fast. Oh, 10, you shall not pass. Bo Baggins just field and grave. Gandalf was late, you stuck at a rave. What's special about magic rings? What will this adventure bring? Oh,